Yo, what's going on, foodie fam? I'm Sue and welcome back to another how to cook video. In this one, we're going to talk about the grilled cheese sandwich. I've talked about it a number of times on stream before, but honestly, I think I make a pretty good grilled cheese sandwich, and there's a secret ingredient I think that really makes the sandwich hit, really makes the best possible grilled cheese sandwich. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you everything you need in order to make a grilled cheese sandwich, and then I'm going to walk you through the steps on how I actually do this. Alright, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Of course, the first thing that you're going to need in order to actually grill a grilled cheese sandwich is going to be bread, right? So I have here a loaf of bread, right? This is sourdough bread. This is going to be my bread of choice, but you could use whatever. If you just have like white bread, rye bread, whatever is going to be good for you. I personally don't use the end pieces just because they're a little bit harder to use. Normally, I actually like the end pieces for the purposes of making a sandwich, but the end pieces are a little bit hard to make a grilled cheese sandwich with. You could absolutely do it, but it's not the best, honestly, in my opinion. After that, you're going to need, of course, cheese. This is a grilled cheese sandwich. You can use whatever cheese you want. You can use American cheese. You can use things like provolone. I've used Gouda cheese. I've used Gruyere. I've used a lot of other different types of cheeses in my time, right? But for this one, what we're going to use is the classic cheddar, right? This is not American. It is, in fact, cheddar cheese. This is like a sharp cheddar that I'm going to be using here for the grilled cheese sandwich. And I usually like to pair it with a secondary cheese, unless you want to go like absolutely crazy. You can go like a 4-cheese blend, whatever you want. That's going to be fine. But for me personally, I like a 2-cheese grilled cheese sandwich. And what I personally find works really well with cheddar cheese is going to be my personal favorite cheese, and that is pepper jack. So we're going to make a cheddar and pepper jack grilled cheese sandwich on sourdough. Again, you could use whatever bread you want, any cheese that you want. That is going to be up to you. That is going to be of your choosing. Before we jump into the assembling of the sandwich and the secret ingredient that makes it all work together, for the next step, in case you guys are wondering, you're going to also need a spatula thing here in order to actually cook the grilled cheese sandwich. And of course, your choice of a frying pan. I was going to use my cast iron skillet, but I decided against it. I figured I would just use a standard metal frying pan, something that I think almost everybody watching the video has at home, right? I feel like the cast iron skillet is something that's more for high-end players, if you know what I mean, right? It's not something that the average player would actually have in their kitchen just laying around in order to make the grilled cheese sandwich. So, again, keeping it simple here. You know how we do it on How to Cook. So, let's talk about how you actually assemble the sandwich itself. So what I like to do is I like to kind of layer my cheese here in such a way. So I do one here of cheddar on each, right? And then you kind of alternate here and go into your pepper jack cheese, right? See, cheese is a little bit stuck together. It doesn't really matter too much. I like to kind of separate it a little bit here. So I go another one here of pepper jack. And so that doesn't really look like it's enough cheese to me. So I'm going to go and get another slice here of both, right? You might want to fan it out a little bit so that way it kind of hangs out. It gets a little bit on the sides, it kind of oozes out when you're actually done grilling it. Because whatever cheese is left, it's going to basically kind of spill over the side. So for me personally, I like to have it a little bit layered like that. Once you have an idea of what you want, you kind of build your sandwich like that. Take a look at the side profile. Make sure that it is all nice and good, right? And now, for the secret ingredient, what really makes the sandwich. And I know some people, you might get grossed out by this, but what really makes a good grilled cheese sandwich is mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is the key ingredient to a good grilled cheese sandwich, in my opinion. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get a standard butter knife, right? And you're just going to essentially take the mayonnaise and you are going to spread it on top, nice and even, on your sandwich, right? Get a nice even coating in there, so that way it goes all nice edge to edge. Right? There you go. So now it looks like this. This is essentially what is going to give us a nice golden brown grilled cheese sandwich. And we're going to obviously do the other side, but what I like to do is spread it once we actually put it on the pan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just jump over to the stove, and we're going to show you guys how to get this started. Okay, so now that we're back at the stove here, what you want to do is obviously turn on your range here. So for me, I have a light here. You can see there's the flame. What I like to do is I do about 75% the way up here, so you can see the flame is actually going. All right, give it a couple seconds to get a little bit hot there. All right. All right. It's looking good. And so then from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to take our spatula, right? We're just going to take our sandwich, and we are going to just flip it right there. And I like to leave it roughly in the center of your pan, right? And now, while that is cooking on that side, you take your remaining mayonnaise, right? And you spread it across the rest of the top of the sandwich here. So you can get that nice coating that we talked about, right? Yes, I know, guys, it's a heart attack. I look at it and I'm just like, I see my arteries hardening as I cook it. But yeah, that is basically how you do it, right? And so now, you just sit here and you listen to some good music while we wait for our cheese to grill, basically, right? And every once in a while, you just kind of lift it up here and you take a look and see how the underside is doing. I don't know if it's a little bit hard to see there, but you kind of just going to be lifting the underside to check. You're looking for a golden brown, right? You're just going to basically check every once in a while. If you're really scared about burning it, you know, my hand's over here. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so you can see. You can change the range just a little bit. You can turn it down to a little bit below medium. That'll be just fine there. And every once in a while, you just kind of grab your oven mitt real fast. Always practice safety here first. You want to make sure that you don't grab the pan while it's hot, right? And you check, and you lift, and you can see a little bit. It's starting to become a little bit there. Just trying to lift it up a little bit for the camera there, so apologies. The contents of our sandwich are spilling out ever so slightly. I say ever so slightly, but like, let's be real here. Try to adjust it for 1 second. Drop the rest of it out there. Press it down a little bit to kind of get it all to stick together, because I kind of just then unassembled the sandwich. These things happen. And so then just every like minute or so, you just want to check. So it's starting to look like it's pretty golden brown. When I flip it, you guys will be able to actually look and see how close it is. Probably wait another like 10 seconds or so. And then we flip it. And look at that. It is like perfectly golden brown there, right? And then the same thing, you just kind of let it chill for a bit. You can see you got some of that cheese melting action going on right there. Press it down a little bit. Don't put too much pressure on it, because you put too much pressure on it, you could blacken the sandwich. We don't want that. You don't want to be eating burnt bread. The trick is to get it to be a nice golden color. Turn it down a little bit. Again, check on it. Okay, it's looking all right. So far, so good. Always, never be afraid to check it too much, right? That's the whole thing. Like, again, the goal is to have a golden brown, kind of ooey gooey, chewy sandwich there with all that cheesy goodness in the middle. You can see it's getting some melted action in there. looking like our edges are blackening a little bit, so we lift it up. All right, I'm gonna put it on low heat a little bit. It's basically done bread-wise, but I want that cheese to melt a little bit more, so we're gonna press it down and hold it for a little bit. All right, and if you want, you can flip it over to the other side. Again, you can see it's a little bit there from pressing it down, but. All right, and then now that we're done, you just transfer it on over to your plate here. All right, there's your plate. And all you got to do from this point on is you just take your spatula and you just kind of dig in there to the center and just kind of cut it apart. Of course, I'm going to need 2 hands for that, so I'll see you guys after the transition in just a second when we talk about things you can pair with your sandwich. To round out the video, let's talk about things to pair with your grilled cheese sandwich, starting with the drink. Honestly, there's a lot of great options that you can pair with grilled cheese, things like lemonade, iced tea. You might be also somebody who enjoys soft drinks like a soda, for example. But for the free-to-play players out there, I think the best possible option is going to be a glass of ice cold water. So I think grilled cheese with a glass of ice cold water is the best way to go, especially if you kind of haven't, you've been neglecting your hydration a bit, right? Hydro homies, make sure you stay hydrated. So the best drink of choice, I think, honestly, glass of water. But for the best possible teammate overall to pair with your grilled cheese sandwich, of course, that is going to be a rich tomato soup. And honestly, me personally, I like mine that's a bit more creamy. I kind of make it with milk in it. I use like a skim milk, but feel free to use whatever you want to make your own tomato soup. But yeah, there's just, honestly, in my opinion, just the tomato soup with the grilled cheese pairing, it's just tops, man. Like I personally, I kind of dip it in here kind of like a sauce. Feel free to eat it however you want. But yeah, nothing beats a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup. At least as far as when it comes to just having, the soup and sandwich combo. But let me know down in the comment section below, how do you grill cheese? Do you have a personal preference for what type of cheese you like to eat it with? How about what type of soup or drink? Let me know all that stuff down in the comment section below. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later now.